Hi everyone, my name is Ernestine Omi Ala. Welcome to our channel, OCHAREO. OCHAREO, Ada Che, Chenife Chokun, Chenife Maru, Chenife La Ocha. Welcome Ernestine, and I would like to know, how do you know about this religion?
I was introduced through my mom, but I actually grew up Catholic. I have all of my sacraments from baptism to confirmation. And my mom took me to get a reading because she's from Grenada. So they have Shango Baptiste over there. So she knew about Orisha. And I guess whatever drove her to get a reading, at one point she took me. And of course they were like, oh, you know, you need to get a leg gaze. And I was like, okay. And I got initiated. That was like in middle school, like when I was like 11 or something. And then I got like a local after that, Ifa, and then I was getting initiated a few years later.
So your mother, she has crown Ocha.
She is initiated to Obatala, and Oya is her mother. So I was really the one that had to get initiated, and you know how it is if your parents are practicing. My father's Ibaye, your mother should go before you. So we just did it together, and that's basically it. So I don't think anybody really knows what it is. Well, I didn't really know what to expect. They were like, "Oh, you want to make Ocha?" And I was already marked to Yemaya. And I was like, oh, I want to wait maybe until after college. They were like, oh, if you wait that long, your head might change. And I was like, oh no, I'm not giving up Yemaya. So that's how they got me. But then when you sit on your ita and they tell you about your life and the expectations that Orisha had for you, I was like, I don't want to do this. But I did my Yawo year, of course. But I was pretty rebellious, and for years I like walked away from the religion. My mother had my Orisha; she was taking care of them, and I went through a lot of ups and downs in my 20s. And then I would go get readings. So, you know, it's like, well, do you believe or don't you believe? And of course, in the readings, I would get told about myself, like, you don't tend to us, Egun saying, or Risha saying, you don't care about us, you don't see us, you don't show us any love, and now you want us to help you. So I was like, you know, I'm tired of things not going right. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So I was like, you know, I think I'm ready to try. And life is better with Ebo.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that is right. Okay, when you had that moment in your life that you decide to stay away from the rich, that is normal at that age. No, because you didn't understand about the religion. And you might take care of the rich is happen a lot in a community, and not only for you youngest. Sometimes they get crowned, but later they want to do the thing. This is something that happen a lot. But how do you feel when in attack they expose you before that happened?
In my Ita?
Yes, because you were so young when you had your attack. So when they start to speak with you about your life, the expectation, how do you feel?
Well, I wasn't really into it because back then, it wasn't, for me growing up, there wasn't so many friends my age. I didn't have any friends that were in the religion. So I have to do my year in white and I have to wear my shawl. I already stick out. They thought people thought I was Muslim. They called me India Ari on the trains. Then, then in my Ita, you know, they were like, if I was older, they would have been much more strict, but I already didn't like it. They were like, you know, you got to respect the white, meaning that if, you know, if I was a little bit older, they would have taken colors from me. And that's hard to hear, you know, like, I think for me, I'm going to speak for myself, but I think a lot of young people just want to fit in. And to be an Olorisha is for selected heads. You're not supposed to fit in, but you know, I didn't understand that. So I was still wearing black, and you know, they were like, "Oh, you're not supposed to go out at night." Well, parties happen at night. I felt like it was very strict, and I still do. But do I follow my ETOP perfectly? Like, I still wear colors. I just wear white way more than I used to. I think that there's grace in it. Egun and Orisha are not there to try to make your life miserable or hard. So I had to shift my perspective. They give you these parameters to help you. This is a bow to make your life easier. The white is like a shield, it protects you. And it's a holy color. That's just one example, but you know, when you're given restrictions, those are usually the things that will help save your life. So once I shifted and grew up and shifted my mindset, then it became easier.
What do you learn from that? Because always there's something that you learn when you are like that.
Most areas of your life, if you want to be successful in anything, you need to have some level of discipline and order. Also, knowing that you are a vessel, like you have a Orisha on your head, you have to carry yourself differently. You cannot do what the world does and expect to have the blessings of Egun and Orisha. So, for example, I went away to college. My mom is really strict, so I went away to college and I didn't know how to act my freshman year. I was partying, not going to classes. I almost flunked out of school. And Yemaya told me in my ETOD that it wasn't an option for me not to go to school. So I came back and got the reading of my life. Like Yemaya read me for filth because she didn't tell me to go to college for me to just flunk out and act like I don't have any sense. So I was scared of Yemaya for like years. Like I would go to a drum, I see Yemaya, I'm going across the room. And my Fedafun Orishas, so after like a good solid year of like I'd see her literally be like this, keeping across the room, and finally in a drum, Yemaya comes up to me. She's like, you know, you don't have to run from me every time you say. So, but it kept me on the straight and narrow, and I was on the dean's list every year after that. And discipline, that's what you need in life. To be an adult, you need to have order in your life. And so I'm still trying to get some order in my life, but I'm much better. You know, she's the mommy. So people are like, oh, yeah, they think she's all soft and cuddly. No, she disciplines you like a mother does because she wants the best for her children.
Do you learn something about the spirits before you count your altar?
I like espiritismo a lot. Like, but I used to, when I sit in my bóveda, they'd be like, oh, you know, you're a medium and you're supposed to be reading people. And I felt like, I was like, I don't feel anything. But sometimes it's okay. You don't have to feel something every time, but it's also about finding prayers you connect with, the discipline. You can't just sit one day at the bóveda and think that you're gonna have this great connection. Some people are like from the womb, they just reading people. And some people it takes time, and that's okay. So it's about being disciplined. And now I sit in misas, and I've sat at the head of tables. I sat in the audience. I really love Espiritismo.
How do you feel when you are walking like the head of
Oh,
table?
I still get very nervous. I'm still like kind of new to sitting at the head of the table. But you know, it's an honor and it's a privilege when you're lifted to do that. And but whether you're sitting at the head or in the audience, you should take it seriously. You should prepare. You should take your baths. I like to meditate and sit at my boveda. I said I have rituals I do, whether I'm sitting at the head or not. You know, it's important to come and prepare for that person who is needing evolution in their life, providing it's an investigative misa. So
I would like to know about the program that you have now. The program you invite people every single Sunday. It's Adura Circle, no? The name is Adura Circle?
yeah, the Adura Circle. Adura means prayer. It started by accident. Sunday morning in OCHAREO, Adura family and prayer warriors. Before we open, we give honor to all of the elders and to all of the priests and to all our brothers and sisters who are joining us in prayer. We also give honor to our collective Ashe. If it's your first time, we extend a warm welcome to you. You can expect a few minutes of inspiration from our guest speakers, that we then go into prayer requests, and then we open the floor for general participation. We were praying for, and it started like by accident last April. We were praying for an elder's fiance, and this was like at the top of when the city shut down. I live in New York City. So, you know, everything was closed down, including the botanicas, because all non-essential services were closed. People weren't really reading like that in person because people didn't really know what COVID was and how it was passed on. And so I was like, he was not doing well. He was struggling with a blood clot in his lungs and he was in the hospital for weeks and weeks. So I was like, let's just get a bunch of people on the phone and pray for him. And it was just like 17 people or so from the elders lineage. And people were like, oh, this is really nice. We should continue it. And I mean, because they felt connected, we weren't able to connect and do drums and sit misas like, you know, we used to. So it was a way for people to come together in community. And we struggled on the phone lines for a little bit. And so it morphed from praying for this one man to inspiring and uplifting the community. And we always had issues with the conference lines, people getting kicked off and stuff, because I guess the conference call companies weren't prepared to handle as much business as they were having at the time. So we moved to Zoom. And it was the elders' idea to introduce guest inspirational speakers. And so it turned into an Orisha-centric prayer circle. So we still honored the origins. Mind you, he was still in the hospital at this time. So we were also collecting names of people who needed to be prayed for. You know how many elders Ibaye during the last year and some change from COVID. And also all of the sicknesses that tend to plague like Black and Latino communities. So we had a lot of people who were in need of prayer. And this was a way for people to connect and hear and to still sit at the foot of the elders, because, you know, these African traditional religions are largely oral traditions. And we could still sit and get a word from our elders. We've had like people from Isheshe, Palo, Candomblé, Voudon, and of course, Lukumi and just Espiritistas speak in the circle. So we've had the likes of Ianifa Joanna Hunter, Dr. Funlayo, Yeye Fini, Iyanla Van Zant, Dr. Marta Moreno Vega. We've had the American Association of Brazilian Candomblé. We've had Senator Kevin Parker, Iyanla Van Zandt. That was a big deal, of course. Lloyd Strayhorn, who is not initiated, but he's an Abarisha, and he's a renowned astrologer, numerologist. So that was really, really cool because, you know, it's still adjacent being, if you practice Espiritismo, we like all of those things. So,
Yes. Yes, yes, and there are a lot of people that they are not crown Ocha. However, they are so close to us because they have a great spirit. And in one way or another, we have a link that we work together. So that is nice.
Yeah, he's been reading Oprah and Iyanla Van Zandt for years. So he read like 50 people in the space of an hour and 20 minutes. And he had all these elder women giving their real birthdays in the circle. So it was just word of mouth. So we still don't have a website. We still don't have social media. But at the height of the pandemic, we were averaging 135 people without advertising a week. And
wow,
yeah, it was a lot. And
there's a lot of people.
Yeah, and now the numbers fluctuate because outside is back open. People were traveling and catching up on their religious activities, but people still need it because we have people from all over the country call in every Sunday, also speak. We have California, Texas, Florida, Chicago, Rochester, New York. So some of these places have pretty decent religious communities and others do not. And so this is a way to be connected again in community and still learn. And one of the good things about it is that it's a relaxed format, but it's pretty reliable information because everyone has been vetted as far as they're actually, people know that they're priests, they, you know, I'm not the judge, jury, or whatever, but, you know, they're not known to be charlatans. And so, you know, in this day and age, everybody can make a YouTube or a Facebook page or a TikTok and say that they're initiated to whomever. And it's like, no, everyone's initiated. And of course, we've had you. And so, you know, we ask people whenever possible to start their speech with their moyubas. And so even though it's a newer type of format, we still enforce protocol in that way. I always give honor to the elders every Sunday. People in their moyubas, they talk extensively about their lineage. And so Avarishas and Aleos who are coming in and are looking for information, they're not being led astray.
This is good because it's not only the community of New York, it's the community of the country. So people know each other and share knowledge in the program. And now that the program is growing up, what is the next step? Because I do think that now it's time to Adora has here website and think in the media.
I don't know because people have said that we should stream it, but we've had some pretty intimate moments in the circle. Like people have cried, people have really just felt that comfortable to really tell what was on their heart. And so it feels kind of weird to stream it on larger platforms. I am thinking about it, but I don't know. It does take a lot. Like I said, I'm a young person. I hated going to church. And so it seems weird to have a prayer circle, but I do enjoy listening to the people who come on. I get to interview and ask questions like I did with you, and other people get to ask. And it's important to document elders and people while we still have them, because as we know, life is short. and we can't assume that this will be the last pandemic that we will witness. So I think it's important, but I'm not really sure if it's going to take the form of a podcast or whatever have you. It's a lot every Sunday. I told you all, you know, sometimes I'm out at a ceremony late on Saturday night, or sometimes I'm just hanging out and I'll be like, I have to go. I have a prayer circle in the morning. And it's been going on since last April. So we're like at 1.5 years, which is crazy. But people still feel like there's a place for it in their practice. Like some people are really dedicated to coming every Sunday. So, and people look forward to it. Like I said, people are lifted out of their depression, especially if they are quarantining by themselves or whatever have you. So it makes me feel a little guilty about quitting it, but it's been a cool project.
No, but let me share something with you. The Sunday that I was in your program, it was so nice, and I feel like a church because the spirituality that everyone is shared during a circle and in the way that they express. The lady that she prayed, she did a great prayer. She prayed from the bottom of her heart. I feel it. So I am not talking about streaming. I am talking more about to how can I say to expose that program out there, because I know that so many people could participate, you know, in your program, because it's something that is on Sunday, is in the morning, you know, that everyone, you prefer to go to be at home, you don't want to go to the church, but it's the online church in another way, you know, and now there are different churches that they are doing the same job, you know. But in this one, I felt more in family, really family, because everyone was talking natural, you know, and you can do that program so good. So my congratulations for you and all the people that organize your program. Congratulations.
You know, we should have compassion for each other and ourselves. Thank you for reminding us also that we can lean on Aganju to lead us across. So with that, we are moving into prayer requests where we continue to pray for those dealing with health challenges. These names are submitted throughout the week. Ia Tracy, please do the honors of leading us. I just want to give I just want to make sure I say her name, Ia Tracy, who has really moved the community with her prayers every Sunday. She gets so much like gratitude, and she does put a lot into it. We've had a few other prayer warriors. There was Ia Michelle, there was Ia Valerie, Ia Tracy is the current one. I don't think I would feel comfortable, and thank God I haven't had to fill in that way. I do all the behind the scenes stuff, and I'm still kind of shy.
Do you get possessed sometime, or you feel something because you are telling us that you run from the Maya, but you run from the Maya or you run from yourself?
Both. Trying to give me a reading for everybody to see. Yeah, I've been running from Yamaya. We're in a much, I love Yamaya. I wouldn't trade for the world, but you know, it's great responsibility to be a priest, and it's a great responsibility to be an Elegun, and people who know there's rules and regulations and protocol at these drums, and it can be real scary. And I guess I'm a little bit of a control freak, you know, Yamaya no Bata on my parents, so I'm not trying to give up control that often.
Any advice for the people that get initiated now in the religion, the community in general?
the journey, like most of life, is what you make of it. Like some people are just initiated and they keep it for themselves. Some people are really active in ceremony. But I think a lot of people place a lot of importance on having a lot of godchildren or being able to be a medium or be able to mount their orisha, but everybody has ashe. Everybody has a place in this religion.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and some people will look at me and say, who are you to be running a prayer circle? But you can't tell somebody what their ashe is. So maybe you are the person who's going to cook. Maybe you're just really good at organizing, because all of these things need organization. Maybe you are really good at sewing, or, you know, everybody has something to contribute. And I feel like everyone should be treated with respect at no matter what level they are. Aleo,
Yes.
Aborisha, baby priests. I've invited several people, young baby priests, to speak, and they're like, what? You don't need to have 40 years to have something to say or to contribute. That's what I have to
You are
say.
absolutely right. You are absolutely right. To contribute to a religion in an age is something that you do from the bottom of your heart.
Thank you for inviting me. And if anyone wants to reach out, the email address is the Adura Circle at gmail.com. That's ADURA.
Thank you, everyone, to watch this interview with Ernestine Omi Ala. Leave your comment below if you have any comment. Subscribe to the channel to receive notification about new videos. Health, faith, and prosperity. Ya tú sabes. OCHAREO.